Coach Smith. What do you think of Wabash College here in Indiana?
Well, I've been here a couple times. It's my second time now. And, I'm impressed with their camps and their style, the way they run camps. I like camps. A lot of these kids you see, they're going to wrestle till their senior year and they're going to move on. But, this is one of their greatest experiences for them, and to be able to go with their team to camps. And we always got to recognize that the majority of campers will finish their senior year. And that experience at camp's important. So I try to make it important as much as I can.
You have a big impact on kids' lives. I was just telling you a story today about when I was like 7 years old in Toledo, Ohio, and you wrestled at the World Cup.
Yeah.
And you were mad at your brother, but you still took the time, even if you were mad at your brother, you lost at the World Cup. You still took the time to sign our autographs. How important is it? You just had a crowd of kids. You signed autographs, took pictures. How important is that to you?
Well, it takes time. And sometimes you don't want to do it, but we need to do it. I don't care what sport it is. It's a privilege, and I always looked at it as a privilege. I get to do this. A lot of people don't get to do this. So, I enjoy it. And again, I think the camps is a place that we develop lifelong students of the sport and people that have lifelong love of wrestling. Their experience in wrestling through their senior year or through as long as they go, most of them into seniors. That's how you build your fan support up. Just guys like kids that come to camp and follow it from that point forward.
You still strap up every day in the practice room at Oklahoma State. You're awesome at showing technique here. You still move real well. I showed you a picture. I couldn't even catch your image. You were a blur.
I don't know if it was that quick.
But, you're still in great shape. What's the biggest attribute you think you have? I asked you if it was genetics. Why are you still able to move how you move? How are you able to get on the mat how you do? And how do you feel so good? No knee replacements, no hip replacements. How is that a thing for you?
A little bit of luck, I always had pretty good eating habits even after I graduated or after I finished up in 92. I didn't deviate too much from it because it was a lifestyle that I did in my later 20s, and it just kind of maintained with me for some point. But I think that if you practice getting on the mat regularly, especially during your season, and make that a habit, it's a good habit to keep because it is hard. It's physical. It's definitely blue collar. My knees feel it today. I was on the mat for 6 hours today. My knees feel it, so it's not easy, but it's easy to get out of the habit. And that, as long as I'm coaching, I don't want to get out of the habit.
You don't wrestle, Joe?
No, I don't wrestle. I pretty much stopped with Jamil Kelly and Eric Guerrero, that crew in 2004. I'll roll around now, but wrestling hard I want to keep a healthy body, and wrestling doesn't mix with that sometimes. But I'm not saying some people can't. I just feel like I'd much rather drill, and of course I wrestle my two younger boys. And as long as they weigh 75 and 50, I think I'm okay.
You're all right with them. But Joe gets big. Joe gets above 170, 180.
You don't want to go there.
He gets big. Joe gets big.
No, he's big. Yeah.
And that's something that'd be hip replacement time.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I just don't feel that I need that right now. I'd much rather, drill and teach technique and maybe roll around with 75-year-old 8th grader. That's my idea of wrestling, or 55-year-old 8-year-old. Now that's my idea of wrestling.
8 All-Americans this year, and you guys are building. Everybody knows Penn State's had, it's an all-time great year for them. They have 5 champs. 97, the Iowa Hawkeyes did it. I think they did it once in the 80s too. I think you guys had done it before, but you had 8 All-Americans. You had a great year. Now, what do you guys got to do to what are you doing right now in Stillwater to get Joe ready, to get Piccinini ready, to get these guys ready to make a jump and beat Penn State next year, beat Ohio State?
It's just, you stay up there is what you do, and you stay competitive. And that's not easy to do, The dynamics of wherever you're at, there's issues and there's solutions that you got to come up with. And those dynamics are different on every campus or wherever you're located. Our dynamics is a little different, and I think for us to challenge for championships, we need to continue to have 8 All-Americans. That'll help. You know, you're going to win every now and then with 8 All-Americans, so that's a good way of doing it, right? You know, it just happened to be a year that 8 All-Americans didn't win it. Most years they would have won it, you know. So I think you just don't need to change a whole lot. You just need to keep doing what you're doing and understand your dynamics of how you can put your best team on the mat.
Anybody migrating up? Any weight changes that I need to know about?
I don't think so. You know, right now, probably not. If something like that would happen, it would happen in this month. So we come back as a team this week for camp, and a lot of times we start putting some plans together for the future, and the future means next season. So if something like that's going to happen, it would happen, but I don't see it, no. But every year there's changes, you know. You always have an idea of what your team's going to be like, and it doesn't seem like it never finishes up like that.
What's next for you? Are you training anybody up for Paris? Are you going to be at the team camps? Deringer's a team member. Are you training anybody up for that?
Well, I do plan on being involved a little bit, you know, with Dayton Fix and his junior world championship run, and you know, I may spend a week this summer with the senior level men, but I am going to spend some time with our women this year. I have a plan to go out and work with our world team, maybe for a week, and maybe even spend some time with them at the World Championships. So I think that's something that we all should put time into right now. I think it's be a good thing for our college coaches to put time into our senior level women.
Does Oklahoma State have camps coming up?
Yes, next week. Actually starting Sunday. Yeah.
6 hours a day on the mat for you then, or not?
Oh yeah. You know, maybe not that much. You know, but definitely 10 days of hitting it pretty hard. You know, and as we know, camps is a time that you put a lot of work in.
All right, Coach. You got a flight coming up here in a little bit. You got anything else for me?
That's it, man.
Hey, thank you for the time. It's always great talking to you, and good luck to you guys next year.
Okay.